We always start laughing.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
So Inga,
I'm in a good mood as always.
so you can take the microphone, Inga, and start what happened, what you experienced this week.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting when we do these events weekly to see and check in with ourselves and the collective what had taken place the last week since we last spoke. And I always use myself in my own body as a measurement to see where the energy are going. And I have encountered some interesting experiences this last week where I have had, especially the last 3 days, where I've been felt myself into a space where nothing makes sense anymore. And to the degree that I felt I lost complete passion for my life. It's not a depression. It's not something I fell into like a black rabbit hole or something, but it's just like the passion is gone. And I just felt like there's nothing more. What's the point? I've done this, I've done that, and then what's the point? There isn't anymore. And during conversation with others and also feeling into my energy field, I found that this is quite collective right now, as many of us are releasing so much of the old matrix within us that we kind of, the desire to create anything that is rooted in the old matrix, it leaves us. And because we are kind of still a little bit in the old matrix and haven't fully moved into the new, it can feel kind of difficult to start creating because we want to create something that is new. And when we can't fully step into the new, it feels like there is no support.
Mm.
And it feels like, or for me, it felt like there's nothing more to do. I'm here. I've kind of experienced it all, and whatever is going to continue for the rest of my life would go to put on the television show that have been sent like 100 times before, and just like that.
Yeah.
So I know that a lot of other people have been going through the same thing, and I also feel that this is kind of the point we get to before we fully allow the old matrix to collapse. And I've also seen that in myself and others, there's been a lot of talk the last years about we have to surrender, we have to give up and surrender our old life or whatever have held us in the old energy. But we are kind of interestingly put together with patterns and everything, so we have oftentimes an underlying ego tendency in our subconsciousness that allow us to experience a surrender 99%, maybe 99.9%, but not 100%, because there's a little part of our ego that says, okay, if I surrender this, I can still survive. If I allow myself and show others that I have surrendered this and that, I can still be in control, because there's a little thing within there that still holds the control and I can feel safe, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel many of us are being confronted with that one too, where we have to allow ourselves to surrender 100%, which actually is felt like a complete death of everything we have been, everything we experienced, and also kind of everything we felt we should or wanted to experience, because everything goes. So that's where I've been. As I said, I'm not depressed, I'm not down, but I feel it.
Yeah.
And I feel it collectively. So that's why I thought we should bring it up and also see if we could
Work with that.
If you had something you want to add to it, and if we probably can find some Kooten energy to kind of support ourselves in moving through this. Yeah.
Patricia, you also experienced something like that, or?
Yes, I heard some people around me too. that describes the same things that Inger just described about the feeling of not be enthusiastic to do anything anymore, or and even not depressed, but it feels sad and no energy to start up new things. So I really recognize the topic. And for me, it feels like you have to fall through that part too, to get aligned again with your new, with a new phase. But while Inger was talking and explaining, a question popped up in my head to you, Inger, and that's about the ego. And the ego is connected to being human.
Yeah.
Is it possible to get 100% out of your ego while you're in the human system?
I do think we need the ego part as a part of a personality in order to even have an individual expression. What I do feel is what we're working towards is a balanced ego or balanced personality that works in complete alignment with what I call my true essence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then it would allow 100% letting go.
Yeah, so the ego needs
Surrender.
to give themselves over 100%.
Absolutely, absolutely. I cannot see how we can exist here because ego often get a very negative. If you talk about ego as something bad, but our ego is also what gives us the possibility of having an individual expression, like ego personality. But ego can be balanced, and we can have a healthy ego. The ego that takes care, that set physical boundaries. I have an ego that can tell me when I come to crossroad and it's red light, I don't walk.
Yeah.
This is kind of our humanness that we should embrace instead of fight. And I also feel that in the moment we start embracing our personalities or ego, the ego doesn't need to fight for its survivals, but it can understand that in a surrendered state, it continues to follow us.
Yeah, so it needs to have trust.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's my experience. Yeah.
That is perfectly adding up to the feelings I got, because when you were talking, Inger, I could feel in the solar plexus, below the solar plexus, into the hara energy, and I was writing it down, and I put a heart around it, so it's connecting the heart, the hara, and the solar plexus. And then I was doubting the ego part of should make codes for 100%, and something was like no. But when the question of Patricia helped to explain that part. So what I want to do is to focus my energy on the hara and solar plexus, surrounded by the heart, and so that trust and balanced, the ego can be balanced in 100% alignment with the pure essence. So that's why I want to put this energy on, and it's.
I immediately felt my solar plexus turn into a sun. But it wasn't from the center and out. It was from the outside and into the center, which was kind of a weird experience. But I felt like my entire solar plexus actually turned into a sun and started to shine. And I'm not very good at translating this, but I know that there is something that is called I think it's the eightfolded path, which is said to be the path of the Buddha.
Mhm.
And that actually has to do with exactly this, as I'm being shown. As it is like when you are balancing everything that we have experienced, everything has to be balanced up in the solar plexus, so that the solar plexus can kind of shine out and shine out and shine out and kind of lift everything up to the heart, so that actually the heart becomes our new root chakra in a way. Yeah. And it's amazing, I've been allowed to see that process taking place physically on people I've worked with, and to see that blossom through and that lotus energetically expand through a person's field, it's amazing. It's like beyond anything I've really seen. So it's real. It's real. That's why I mention it. It's real. It's not something we just talk about.
I saw a door, and it was very clear. I saw dark with a door with light under it. So we're just in front of that door to open it, to step in a new phase. And it attracts us. The coach brings it closer to us.
Beautiful. I got some sun codes coming in on this one. I feel my sun dragon is kind of coming into because often when things opens in me to a higher level, there is then my body is kind of ready to bring through other energies. And I've been feeling lately there's a lot of, we call it central suns, but it's central suns beyond central suns beyond central suns. So I'm not sure how far out this goes, but it is from one of the outer central suns that are being pushed in by my sun dragons. Mewa manui, mewa manui, mewa manui, shitamanai. Shitamanai, Shitamanai, Akichta Aman, Akichta Aman, Akichta Aman, Kokotemani, Kiatakana, Yotoke, Titiamana, Aukakatita, Shiniamana, Kata, Shika, 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 Atawa, Atawa. Atawa Shimana Matia Matia Matia.
I'd like to bring some codes down to earth.
I felt much of the codes that was being brought in here had to do with, or it went straight, when the sun dragons come in, it went straight to the back of my head. It's what usually called a reptilian brain. And then it went up to my forehead. So it was like a ring of light or codes that kind of surrounded my head and went into, so I felt like I was, especially the back of my head, the old brain was kind of completely penetrated. And then the codes kind of went into the solar plexus and kind of down to the earth plane where you beautifully ground them as usual. Thank you. And again, I feel like we are being so supported in stepping out of anything that has to do with using our brain in the old way. And every time that happens, I kind of go numb for a while because my head is so it feels like it's just pure light. But it's like you're erasing a hard disk, not the wisdom, not the knowledge, but everything you don't need. And again, as this energy is working through, I feel like it's moving into my spine. Like my entire spine feels like a huge light. It doesn't feel like this normal Kundalini blast, but it's more like a more subtle, more fine-tuned, if you can use that word, energy that are kind of feeling almost like there is a physical spine energy and then there is an etheric spine energy in the back, and it's like these two are exchanging light. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
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 What do you feel?
The information I got was more that it's a combination of the two of you. It's that there's frequencies coming for opening new doors of pure essence, and and it's all centered just below the solar plexus. So it's the under part of the solar plexus where it will manifest itself, and I can feel it's on the back and the front side. So it's like that whole area, and it is like.
For me, it felt, often when we move into the chakral area, it often feels like, a chalic.
Yeah.
And I got that very strong feeling, and it was like something deep inside me, more in the upper heart than the heart, actually, kind of open, and a huge beam went inside my body and down and kind of filled that up. And it actually became a planet. So So right now I really have a Buddha belly as I felt a boom.
Sorry.
So I'm glad I have my happy pants on.
Oh, yeah.
But it was a very comfortable feeling because it's not the first time I've experienced carrying planets in my sacral chakra. But the feeling was so tender, so sweet. It was like, if you can call it a planet of love or something.
Mm.
Yeah. And I felt as it went down, when it went down, the energy also, and the planet formed, the energy comes up in like a V shape.
Yeah.
Then goes kind of out. So it just feels very present. Is that a word you can use? Very,
Yeah.
very present in my field, in my body. And I feel this is energies we bring in and becomes aware of that has to do with what we call creating the new reality. Because we have to stop, my feeling, we have to stop looking at it outside as something that is created for us. It's created through us. And if I, how to say, want to, let's say, be on a planet with high vibration, I have to create that within first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if I want a new reality, I need to create that inside of me first. And this feels like part of that process.
Mm.
Thank you.
And for me, it felt that I was totally in the code. So it was all around me, and it felt like I was a screw and going into the earth, and really grounded me to very strong, very powerful. And it was like I became a giant. And and just grow above all the things that are keeping us here in the energy that's here. So it makes me grow and look above.
Yeah.
So it gave me a lot of power to be inside. Like you said, from inside you need to create. So there's the place to create. And for me, this grows. So inside, outside, again, inside, outside.
Inside, outside, yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful.
And that's what needed. That's what's needed here for the collective. So maybe, do you have something else, Robert, for the collective here?
Yeah, for the collective to
So
get this energy as well.
yeah, I have something else. Maybe I should start. Yeah, yeah. Afuya neti siti ya tania kania tada siti pu ya maya ti ya tania titi pu ya tatania ka afuya ya tata siti nia tu yu papati ya tatu tatu titi nia afuya fu mai kata tu tu pu tu tu ko ya kuri ya ni titi tu papinia mua si ya patania si ya tu 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 tapaya so
I love that piece. Patricia, often when you bring through your energies, I got these inner visions of you being such a part of the earth that you kind of comes out of the earth and you sit on the ground. And this this time it was like you were sitting there and you were calling the flowers and the grass and everything. Say, come on, it's time, it's springtime, come on, show your colors, show your new expressions. So it was like a huge support in the collabing. Come on, it's time. Let's springtime, let's dance, let's show our true colors, let's show what we can, let's show our new expressions. It was like very uplifting, very uplifting.
A blue wind.
Yeah,
of the earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that helped me to
Yeah.
clarify what kind of frequencies are added for the collective, because now it's clear for me that it's an energy of lightening up. So because we're all in this polarity and in this old matrix, and we don't know where we're going, and so we have to lighten up, breathe more light, and lighten the whole atmosphere. So whoosh, an aish, an ayo, or an or I osh ayo na I o na I o
It was very interesting pictures that I picked up on, because the energy that you brought in felt like a continuing of what Patricia brought in. And it was like if she was the ground and brought up the flowers, suddenly there was this sky above with stars. And then you certainly, something happened like a crack in a layer, so the layer fell. And suddenly it was like a lot of fairies running around with sparkling stuffs, and all this stuff. But then what I was shown that you don't need to wait for the night to see the stars shine. They shine in daylight. They shine in daylight. And then the energies kind of came together. And it was actually incredibly beautiful because the entire air was like filled with, when snow falls, but it looked like all this crystal that is in the snowflake, but they were like complete shimmering stars that kind of filled the space, and it was like a new air.
And I hear the heartbeat through it.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, like the heartbeat from Earth was expanding and was mixed up with something new to create a new heartbeat.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's a new rhythm, new heartbeat. Absolutely. Yeah. It was like a new space that was open, like a layer that had been laying over the earth. Yeah. Because we have been used to separation of earth and night sky to see the stars, but suddenly no.
Yeah.
It's all present. Yeah.
Wow.
I got an energy that is coming in, but I'm not gonna step into this one that you brought through because it was complete in itself, what you did. But what I'm getting is to bring in some codes that has to do with supporting us in connecting deeper to our true self. Because so much of the journey that we are undertaking right now is about connection to our true self. And as we move deeper into this landscape, our only navigation book is our connection to the true self. And there is an energy right now that is building tremendously up for everybody, where we hopefully can get like a bigger shift. When we are in processes like that globally, there is like if you say there are 8 billion people on the planet, there's like 8 billion patterns floating around and 8 billion truths floating around, and how to navigate that, especially for those who start to wake up, but also many of us who have worked this path, we can easily get distracted or whatever. When people say, oh, this is the truth and this is the truth, and you have to listen here and you have to listen there, you really need to establish a strong connection to your higher self. So that's what again, it's one of the great central suns that are bringing in the energies, because they are kind of supporting the process of light particles or photons that are undertaking this. Kyokoto namanaya doike. Yokotini niyamana akakotishini niyakatana mana eotone mani iakatoyo. Ishiti kyokotani akashai kyokotona maniata. Ahiokotono mani kyokosotono no mi iakatasha. Tokoyona mani iakotai shianamatai. Ashna katomenito yoto. Ashnamanoyo natomito, ashnamanoyo natomito, washtaike tawa tawa, tawa. We see the star grandmothers are coming in to add a bit to this. Sha namaniki toike tai tono no manakata asha domeni kyokotona asha toyonana kiko ahashne yakatashne tiko nahayama akio shekieta danamana etiokotono eta meneniki teya ashna kataya nama etoike ketini iashata amashatoi gosh namani ioko. Ayeketene menitio kotana manashta. Ei kadadana mana iokoton. Enetishitan yeketini na. Ahaiketon shenanini na. And the star mothers also bring through a message that when we struggle with connecting to our true self, our true essence, or if we just feel out of it or disconnected, we can actually kind of call upon them, call them in, and ask them to sing our true song, our true story to us. And through that vibration, we can experience a calmness within that makes it easier for us to open up and receive, because when we really open up and bring our higher frequency in, it can be massive. It can be extremely strong and powerful experience.
They gave me strength.
Mm-hmm.
And this week I was in the meditation, and there I felt that I wanted to go home. I was so tired of being on Earth. I really was not depressed, but I was, oh, I'm so done with this. Like that, like the topic we were talking earlier.
Yeah.
And just go on. Just I felt my alignment on that point. And for now, I felt like my higher self received a treatment of putting myself into nice blankets and take care of. And I saw myself again, very old here on Earth, do what I came here to do, with a new energy. And with the star grandmothers over it, they made me feel happy by doing it.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, Ingar. It was a blessing to receive.
For me, it activated something of energy for that, especially that part of sing your own true story or song, because that has something to do with being sovereign, being your pure multidimensional being, all these aspects which we are touching more and more, so that you have even that your mind is widened in possibilities and to think about. So it's there's a frequency from the heart, and it's like shi ra I ur ur da da dur ar ar om vo ar
I felt two very strong reactions to that or response to that energy. The first was my left brain. It was like the energy in it was, it gave kind of a soothing energy to my left brain, like, take it easy, baby, you're going to be okay. And then it kind of filled my heart extremely. And you know, we are used to the picture of the triangles, one with the point up and one down, overlapping each other and make this Star of David, right? I got the same with two hearts, kind of overlapped in the heart, and it was like, wow. It's like I felt peace on earth. Really, really, really beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And it was so beautiful, especially when the first heart came down upside down. I said, what the heck are you doing? And then the other came, and yeah, they aligned. And and then I don't know how they split, but it was like there was a point in the middle that kind of opened up, and it started to send a few very sweet rays of light out. So it's going to be interesting to see and check myself what happens further on with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
How was it for you, Patricia?
I'm still processing it.
Okay, take your time. Take your time.
So it's not often, but I don't have words for it.
Recording.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, feels like really divine, like a blanket.
Yeah. It's beautiful. There's another thing I also want to just briefly mention that I have picked a bit up on, and I'm just throwing it in to see how you feel about it, because in the beginning of the 90s, there was, or after harmonic convergence in 87, but during the next 5-6 years, there was like huge downloads of potentials and information that were kind of downloaded to everybody that kind of had the possibility or ability to pick up on it and react to it. And a lot of us got very strong openings with a lot of possibilities, and we choose this and we chose that and stuff like that. And then after that, we have kind of built upon these openings and this potential that became available for us at that time. I am starting to feel something familiar taking place now. Like we are being kind of opened, and a lot of downloads or information is coming down about potentials. Potential about new forms of healing, potential about new creations in a lot of different ways. Mm-hmm. Also, new ways of experiencing things, and it's like kind of all new. And it's like, how to say, a curious gang up there to say, who's going to pick up on what? Mm-hmm. Who's going to start with what? And I feel this is something that is kind of a little bit important to be aware of. Because many times we get thoughts or impulses coming in and we say, I can't do that, or that's not for me, but what if it was for you? Yeah. Because I think that, or I don't think, I feel that many of the things that we are being given right now can be very different from what we have done up till now or what we have experienced. Yeah. It's like we have done with a kind of a, let's call it a section. Yeah. Of experiences, and now there is something completely new. And I feel like this, what we have done, it's a platform for us to move. But I just feel that we should be very, very open for receiving and accepting potentials and ideas that might be out of the range of our comfort zone. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And maybe there are some codes and energy to support that too. Oh. I actually think it is, because it's a reason why we tend to pick up on kind of similar things like we have done, and in areas where we feel safe. And I feel that now we are, and I got a lot of energy on this, a lot of things or encouragement coming down right now, or stepping out of your comfort zone and dare to do different things, dare to step up and show different things, step out of what you have done and dare to take new paths. Because this is like everything is being, I feel that since 80s, let's say the beginning of the 90s, where all this opening comes, and there has been kind of a tendency to make things a little bit difficult. It's like, this is my concept and my modality, and it has to be done like this, and it has to be like that, and you have to use these codes and that codes, and it, blah, blah, blah. You have to follow these rules and regulations and whatever. And it's kind of taken over a lot of the spiritual awakening. Yeah. And the spiritual work. And I feel that is that has to do collapsing. It has to do that it was created in duality, and that people were not aware that duality was hindering the possibilities. Yeah. So I can make some code for that. And I'm stepping after you
So,
because I also
yeah.
feel that there is something that comes again for the
Yeah. What were you saying, Patricia?
Yeah, I feel them hanging in the air now.
Yeah.
So all three
Yeah.
feel something. So
good, super. Yeah.
okay,
Uh,
yeah.
And I will focus at that the awareness to be out of the box and the comfort zone and to be there to explore it.
Yeah.
So, and of course, there's a left and a right or whatever. It's a polarity, and in the
You'll
middle
fit in.
somewhere the possibilities are, but we still then to be more out in the open.
Yeah.
And that's all said now. Atais what I show no rules in a katai kukur ais na ayo anju ans oji ya mus kotor tatai ot anj or aj o shur shar ayur shur o
Tuti katniata. Futiti. Asututi niamana. Futikania siti yampana. Uka marataniata. Upatu kati siti ya pupunya kati sitinia indi tuapini titia. Afuyo puja tia sapatu aiua. Asu uka kudu tupatia tisititio paniata katatia nana. Fuya kmuda yati sitinia pa. Siadata.
I got I don't know even what to call him, a being, star being who is coming in here to support us, to support our field and our capacity to actually receive and ground these potential Shania Kedaman Kotani Mena Yoda Kyoto Ni Ashana Kyoto Dima Aiko Shina Diagamanoshtakya Kyoko no to na Eke Tina Shimina Nanaya Kakatana Namanaya to Emeni yoko dananaya, emeni noko dayanana, emeni yoko dananana, emeni yakadai kyota, emeni yakadai dokya, emeni yakadai kyotan yokoshta, ayaketi tuachtakya, kyakutachtisha. I'm being shown how much of what we call our future is dependent on how much we dare to expand, to bring through and allow to be created through us. And that this, from all of us, kind of was a great support in order for us to allow that process to take place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
To really trust ourselves in.
Yeah. Yeah. I've very strongly felt I had to open the third eye by people. So my coach were focused on the third eye, and it came from the older people from Earth, the older volkeren.
Populations.
Older people. I don't know if it's the right word, but the old beliefs from Earth, and they really opened it, and the grounding from Ingar made it very powerful to spread it all over the earth.
Peoples, the translation says.
The peoples, volk.
Volkeren, peoples.
Stammen.
Volkeren is peoples.
En stammen.
Sorry? Ik verstand je niet.
Stammen. Stam.
Stammen of stammen.
Like old Indians, but it's the Mayas or really old.
Tribes.
Indigenous
tribes. Yeah. Who didn't know? Okay. Yeah. Okay. And you opened that, Robert, to expand this.
Okay.
It was beautiful.
Yeah.
And straight to my heart, both of you.
Both hearts.
Yeah.
Upside down.
Oh,
Really interesting how everything works, yeah? And how everything is put together then, and when we put it together, that what kind of help is coming for that. It's really beautiful. I love to do this.
yeah, it brings a lot of love.
Yeah, and then again with what you told in the end, Inga, that it's so valued. Is that the right word? It's appreciated in the galaxies,
Thank you.
and it's really beautiful, really beautiful. It's like again the divine energy is as a blanket all over us. I had some brain champagne in the last two coats, like just sparkling, not like champagne. That's really intensively sparkling, but the little sparkles of champagne, lower space going through the mind, like bloop, 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 making space for out of the box thinking, and that's really interesting. Yeah, beautiful. So thank you very much, both of you.
Thank you.
And
fun as always. Yeah.
Again, if anybody wants to have any comments, questions, put them on the YouTube, and we will reply. And if I hope you liked it. I hope you will still keep on watching us. And I liked it.
We are having great fun.
So thank you very much, and till next time, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.